Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Green Day uh, album tier list. I'm just gonna um, show you the tiers. So, at the bottom, we got bronze, and I bet most people are wondering why bronze is the bottom. Bronze would be considered as not bad or not great. It's kind of in the middle, so meh. The reason is I don't think Green Day has any really bad records. Um, and second is last is Silver. I think we know the rest. Gold. Gold would usually be in the top of someone's tier list, but I was going the two steps further and putting Platinum and Diamond. Diamond obviously being um the top. So yeah, here we go. So I guess we will go there chronologically first to last. So 39 Smooth, their first record. Um, it I believe it was produced under $1,000, so it's pretty underground punk. Trey wasn't on drums. The guy, uh, right here. He wasn't on drums and on this record, so it's obviously not diamond platinum already. Um, but it's definitely not a bad album by any stretch of the imagination. The best on this album is good, but it's not great. And the worst on this album is some of the worst Green Day's ever put out. Boring, but some of it is pretty good. Some of the instrumentations are good. Yeah. So basically, it's a high silver, low gold kind of deal. I think I would, uh, you know, I don't know. It's gold. It's gold. Let's just put it in gold. It's gold. You know. So for most people, this is really, really good. It's actually great. It's amazing. That would be in top of, you know, actually put it in silver. That doesn't mean it's bad. On anybody else's tier list, this would be second highest. But on me, my tier list is the second lowest, surprisingly. But yeah, it's not a bad album. It's just Green Day hasn't found their sound yet, and they're just they're just an underground band, and people who are doing the who are like doing the exact music as Green Day at the time did it better. Um, Next we have one of their more generally liked albums, one of their more critically acclaimed albums, Kerplunk. Kerplunk is pretty good. Kerplunk is pretty good. Some good songs like Welcome to Paradise. I don't even know the rest of the song names off the bat, but the biggest problem with this record is that a lot of songs sound the same, and Green Day hasn't found their signature sound yet. They would put in their later releases. So, I think it came out in '92. So it kind of sounds like a mixture of many things. There's the love song. I forget the it was kind of country sounding. So there's a lot of different musical genres. But at the end, a lot of the songs sound pretty similar, which is surprising. It's a gold. It's gold. Gold. It's better than 39 Smooth. A lot better. The production is a lot cleaner, and overall the songs are a lot better. But overall, it's not definitely not near of the best of Green Day's catalog. Next, we have Dookie. I think would be unironic to put it in diamonds since it has sold over 10 million copies um, in the United States alone. Certified diamond, they would say. This is a pretty big improvement from their last two albums. You can literally name like a quarter of the songs on this album, like, and it's not that hard. Like Basket Case, Welcome to Paradise, Longview, When I Come Around. In the end, it literally This album has it all. Good drumming by Trey and good vocals by Billy. Good instrumentation all around by Mike. But yeah, this is definitely a really great album. This is an amazing album. Everyone, a lot of people own this album. It's like a collector's it's a collector's album. Sure, not a collector's album literally, but it's one you see on pretty much everyone's like record shelves. Basically, that's what it is. It's a phenomenal album and it's a must hear. Downs on this album, it almost puts it to platinum, so this is kind of a low diamond. And what we're seeing in the rest of their discog is a bit better than this. So so that's a spoiler right there. This is not my favorite Green Day album, but it is definitely one of their best. Like no shit because it's in diamond. But like the bass on Longview, crunchy. It's not even crunchy, but just the overall like drumming. The first song on the album, the like it just knocks you all over your seat with Trey's drumming. Great, just great. Overall, great. It revitalized the punk scene. Everybody was going back to punk. So it's a pretty important album in the history of music overall. Um, so next we have Insomniac. Now I'm gonna go off the bat. I'm not a huge fan of Insomniac. It's not gold. It's platinum. But I'm just gonna say it right here. Um, because it took like less of a than a no, because it released like a little over a year after Dookie, just like a little just right after a year after Dookie, it took like just a year to make, less than a year actually, because all the release date is quite a bit after like the end of the recording sessions and the uh, post production on songs. But anyways, I'm gonna go up the bat and say I'm not a huge fan of Brain Stew. I think that's one of my least favorite Green Day singles, not my least favorite Green Day songs. But overall, um, the uh, the riff on the song is just dead, like hard as balls, and I don't think Green Day for me is just like a not a really should not really be a hard like punk band, like a hardcore punk band. That's the right word. That's the right subgenre. But Brain Stew, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of Brain Stew. The solo is great, and the riff at the beginning is solid. I just finished saying it wasn't that good, but it was. And Billy's vocals is fine. I don't think it goes well with Mike's chugging because his vocals are rather soft and it's pretty hard. But Jaded is a pretty good song. It's weird because these songs were both split into the same single, and I think Jaded is quite a bit better than Brain Stew. Other songs on this album like Geek Stink Breath, awesome drumming. Um, the beginning of the song is awesome. Like the just Mike's guitar and Trey's drumming, just just great. Got me pumped up, and just overall the riff on that song, great. Um, but anyways, it's a standard album. It's just be it's just it if it didn't come out a year after, like Dookie could be in gold, but like this album also has Walking Contradiction, which is also one of Green Day's best. But if it didn't come out a year, like if this was exactly the same as it was and it came out in 96 instead of 95, I think I would put it in gold for sure. I think anyone would, but since Green Day were very busy. They tried their best. Um, they to release new material in such short time spans. I think that deserves a gold alone, and along with the great instrumentals and um, setting itself aside from their previous work. I think that deserves platinum. Anyways, now it's time for Nimrod, one of my personal favorites. I honestly think it's about as good as Dookie. It's definitely a diamond, definitely. King for a Day. That's probably in my top four favorite Green Day songs. It's the trumpets on that song and the overall drums. Just awesome. Sounds like something that came right out of like a Crash Bandicoot level or something like Crash Bandicoot Warped. Um, um, Also the interlude on this album. I forget what it's called. I'm gonna see if I it was Last Write-In. Yeah, Last Write-In. That's a great instrumental. It's surprising that an instrumental is one of the best tracks on this album, in my opinion, of course. The Grouch, great written song. I think most people who grew up with listening to Green Day probably feel the same way now. Feel probably different now than they were listening as a child. This is a pretty well-written song. Nice Guys Finish Last. That seems like something that came out of Dookie. This song is more like Dookie than Insomniac. No, this album I mean was more. It's more like Dookie than Insomniac was. It's more less angry music, and more optimistic, just like Dookie was. Anyways. This song album also has Platypus I Hate You. Yeah, that was one of the tracks. That's a great song. Uh, Hitchin' a Ride, one of their my favorite Green Day singles. Great, 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 great. Um, just man, it's just. I mean, I know what I said earlier about Brain Stew, but the riff on this song is a lot better in my opinion. Even though a lot of people didn't agree. And like the gate on the song, uh, the bridge, the bridge on this song is great, and the when they just freak out at the end of the song ending, just great. Overall, good song structure in my opinion. Yeah, basically that's it. Uptight is also a great song. Yeah, Jinx, that's also a great one. And of course, I couldn't not mention one of their biggest songs, of course, Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, or Time of Your Life, whatever you like to call it. Definitely one of their bigger singles. And a lot of people like this song, and quite a few don't. I'm in the middle of this song. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I don't understand people who hate this song. This is just a short, like, song about love. It's not. If you hate this song, you probably don't have a soul. Simple as that. But, yeah. This is definitely a rise from Insomniac, and I think I like this album more than Dookie. It's a lot more experimental, and just oh, the songwriting is a bit better as well, and it's kind of like a kind of like in what's the word for it? It's kind of like foreshadows the next album. That's the right word. Foreshadows the next album, Warning. Kind of the same elements are on this album. Like no, like Nimrod was experimentation to see if it works, and Warning was their next release, and to see if Nimrod worked, and it did. It did well, and Warning came out, and Warning did not do well. It At first it only sold 500,000 copies, which is a all-time low for Green Day. and now it went all the way to platinum. Yeah, it sold over 1 million copies over these years. This is not a very well liked album from Green Day. Um, More people are liking it over the years. I'm seeing more people giving it praise over the years, but overall, when it came out, nobody really liked it. It shied away from their original punk formula. It's not really even a punk album. It's more. That's weird to say. There are punk songs on this, but there are a lot of rock songs on this. Um, like the genre rock, not because I don't know. Some say punk is a genre, subgenre of rock, but some say punk is its own genre. Which I do agree that punk it's its own genre, but yeah, I do love the song Jackass. It's probably my top 5 favorite Green Day songs. Top 10, top like 9, top 10. Definitely in my top 10 for sure. I think that song was solely written about me because the song goes like about a guy who makes jokes all day and repeating the same formula, and he's not really funny, he's just wasting his time. And I feel like that song was solely written for me, and I wasn't even born yet. So it's already definitely not a silver or bronze. And the saxophone solo on that song, great. Um, uh, I like Minority. Warning's great. Warning's great. I love Warning. I mean, a lot of people don't like Warning, but I liked Warning. Macy's Day Parade, great song. Great, great, great. A lot of great songs. Well-written tracks. There are a lot of well-written tracks on here. Um, some of Green Day's best written material is on this album. So I would say it's platinum. It's just not as memorable as these two albums and Diamond. It is also like some songs are skip worthy. Like overall, it's like not a great, good of experience. The instrumentations on this album are not as good too. Like, I mean, it's very different. It's abstract between all the other albums. It's like if you want to hear this version of Green Day, go this album. Like, this is its own work. No other Green Day album tried to do the same thing it did, except for kind of Nimrod. But Nimrod is different in quite a few, more than a couple aspects. That album is definitely more of a punk album. Warning is definitely a great album, but it's not an amazing album. It still has problems, like some of the songs. Remember when I said this album's well written, but well, some songs are not great, well written, like not amazing. And like some of the instrumentations are not as memorable, or like this is just not like a fueled ride. Like this is not like a happy, fun record. This is not as fun. This is like it. You need to be more of a long time listener of Green Day or music in general, like a instead of a standard listener who likes like music that is easy to get into. This album is a lot harder to get into uh, than Insomniac, Dookie, and Nimrod. But overall, it's a pretty good album. Next we have, which a lot say it's their best album, American Idiot. I do love American Idiot. If it wasn't in Diamond, I'd probably get my ass kicked. Easy as that. It, it has great songs, great, amazing songs. American Idiot has the punk rebellious spirit that a Green Day song should have. Great song, great song structure, and it's not even one of the best on the album. It doesn't really go with the theme of the story. This is a concept album, like it has an entire story on it. So kudos for more experimentation. They could have easily just went back to their old ways with Dookie and Nimrod. It went after Warning, which was not really well received. They could have just did that, but like they had balls and they decided to release an almost hour-long concept record that was very mischievous and conspicuous. Um, I don't know why those words came up, but anyways, this is definitely an amazing album. Must hear, must hear. Definitely, probably in the best 100 albums ever made. No, 50. Top 50 best albums ever made. Like this is like objectively one of the best albums ever made. No denying about it. From the iconic album cover to the last track, What's Her Name? Like Homecoming. That's probably my definitely my top five favorite Green Day songs. No, top three. This song's great, great, amazing, amazing, amazing. Like how Mike's guitar and Trey's drumming go together. Like they had the exact same. Don't know what the word is. Uh, they sound exactly the same. Let's just say that. Same with the song that came before it, "Wake Me Up When September Ends." I personally love that song because when September ends, it's my birthday. So I feel like he also wrote that song for me, but obviously he didn't because I actually know the meaning of that song. Um, Means that Billy's dad died in September, and he went to his room and locked the door. And when his mom knocked on the door, he said, "Wake me up when September ends." So pretty sad story. Great song, great lyrics, great song structure. Can't praise it enough. And like when Billy shouts the song's title name, the "Wake me up when September, wake me up when September ends." Like Mike's guitar was just raunchy and raw. It's not like too mellow, but it's a bit mellow, you know. And of course, I couldn't not mention like Boulevard of Broken Dreams, their most viewed song on YouTube, so automatically it's their biggest song, the one with the most Spotify plays, and I believe it is the one with like the most listens on Apple Music, like the top most listened song of the month or whatever. Does it go by month or week? I don't know. But anyways, um, yeah, great album. Must hear. Probably their best album, and it goes all the way downhill from here. 21st Century Breakdown. I like 21st Century Breakdown, but it's nowhere near American Idiot. It copies the same formula as American Idiot. It's very unoriginal, and it's just not this. The story in general is just not as good. Uh, um, some songs are really good. I would say there some songs in this album are great, but the poor instrumentation, like it's just boring. A lot of the songs on this album are boring, and and it's well written. It's one of the best written. Besides American Idiot, this is probably their best written album, or maybe even Warning. But no, you know what? It maybe even be better written than American Idiot. A lot of the songs are, a lot of the. This is really an album. This is really only you will only really need to hear the lyrics. The like Know Your Enemy or 21 Guns, the huge singles off this album. Know Your Enemy is a alright punk song, you know. It, like I bet when nobody really knew about this album in 2009, they were like, yeah, that's good, but it's nowhere near American Indian. They didn't probably expect it to be another opera album, another concept album. They just thought it was like another like doing this like the whole formula again because it kind of sounds like Dookie. It kind of sounds like Dookie in a way, but a little bit harder. Um, and then 21 Guns. Yeah, it's a good song. I like when Phineas sings it. I prefer that version better, but it's a good song. It's a good song. Good, well-written lyrics, but it, for like a Green Day fan, the song probably sucks because it's definitely one of their more famous songs, and it shouldn't be because if you listen to all of Green Day's songs, well, most of Green Day's songs, let's just say. 21 Guns is a slow, really mess. Like, it's 5 minutes long, I think. And Billy's vocals was just, gun, 21 guns. It's just slow and boring. It's a kind of boring song. See, going with the pattern, it's just a bit boring. So I think it's gold. Gold? Yeah, I think it's proper. Gold is what 21st Century Breakdown is. And now we're going to probably their worst received albums ever. Uno, Dos, and Trey, which roughly translates to 1, 2, and 3. Uno. Eh, I haven't. I've only listened to these albums once. They're not that good. You know, at the beginning, it's just a stupid idea to like write so many songs. There's all like there's. It's undeniable that a quarter of the songs out of all three of these albums are gonna suck. No denying it. But Uno, like the first single was All Love, and I think that was the final track of that album. So slow. It was fine. You know, some say these are very bad, they're terrible. I wouldn't agree, they're just boring and slow. They're not really much substance in any of these songs. They're not, no like rock hard energy from Green Day, no great like songs off here. No, there are a couple great songs scattered through these bad albums, but I don't know. To me, they all sound exactly the same, and I think they should all deserve the same rating. Some say Dose is the best. A lot say Dose is the worst. A lot of different opinions on these albums, but um, Uno, yeah, Dose, yeah, Trey. You know what? I'm gonna put Trey in silver. Trey is my favorite out of the three, for sure. I think Trey is the best. I know some who would say it's the worst, but there are a couple. There are better songs on this, more good songs. Like overall, it has more better songs than Uno or Dos. Like X Kid. X Kid was great. Um, Now we're on the last two. Revolution Radio. This is probably the most forgettable Green Day release. I don't really see anybody talking about this one. This is awfully forgotten because of how bad people thought Uno Dos Tres were. This prob this is just not as remembered, and because of Father of All probably claiming the throne of being the worst Green Day album by many, is now talked about quite a bit. But Revolution Radio, forgettable, very forgettable. This is the trend of Green Day after American Idiot. Not terrible, just forgettable, bland, and boring. Unlike their first 5 albums. But yeah, Revolution Radio. I haven't actually listened to a lot of Revolution Radio, maybe like 2 times in full, but I can say Bang Bang is a great song. Probably their best song since, I don't know, something from American Idiot. And like Revolution Radio is pretty good too. So Still Breathing, pretty, a lot of pop overtones on this album drive it all the way to silver. It's better than Trey, so I guess, yeah. But a lot of pop overtones and, just being overall, like, there's a lot of slow ballads on this song too, album too, so, yeah, the singles off the album, strangely, are the best because not all the, you don't really see all the time that the singles are the best off the album, especially in Green Day's discography. Not really much to go off with. It's just eh. Now we're going on to their newest release, the one I reviewed with terrible audio quality. Father of All, Mother. Mother Brothers. Makes sense to me. Terrible album cover. I think we can get that out of the way. So, it's definitely not Diamond just because of the album cover. It goes roughly at 26 minutes. Definitely, I think that's their slowest album release like ever. I think that's slower than 39 Smooth, and it's definitely slower than Kerplunk. But yeah, it is their slowest album. So, yeah. If it's slower than any of the trilogy, that's just a bad sign. Like what? Like all the albums from the trilogy should be shorter than this. Um, yeah, Father of All. Call me a sinner, but I'll put it at gold. Gold. At least Father of All has has like an attitude. It kind of goes back to Green Day's original style a lot more. Just making overall like good punk songs. Like Billy said, he can't write any like slow songs that go past like 5 minutes. Even three. No, like 3.5 minutes. He couldn't pass like 4 minutes songs. He just couldn't do that anymore. So, um, yeah, like that's just sad. Like it seems like we're never gonna get a great, amazing or great Green Day album ever again after this, since what Billy Joe said. But it could all just be a cover up for this new album. They said they're gonna get out of Reprise record. Their contract with Reprise is over, so. Maybe this is just an album, but for people who are anticipating this album, I feel bad for. It almost goes down for silver. But anyways, Father of All, fine. Fire Ready Aim, better than Father of All. Oh yeah, that song is pretty bad. Boring. It's just Billy. It's just a sample of a Joan Jett song and Billy just saying, oh yeah, with a terrible riff, like terrible guitar line throughout the song. Forgettable. But the beginning of the song with the drums is alright. Graffitia, Sugar Youth, I was a teenager. Meet Me on the Roof is a terrible song. I don't care. That's probably one of my least favorite Green Day songs. It's like a pop punk song, which Green Day is really widely known for, but it doesn't sound like Green Day. And a lot of the songs, you can barely hear like Billy's actual vocals. It's like there's so much auto tune in his vocals, and I know that is on like Revolution Radio a lot. Like Revolution Radio has a lot of auto tune, and same with the trilogy. But man, does he just like tone it up on this album? It's just awful. It's bad. It's terrible. No. It almost drives it down to silver, but I liked it more than Revolution Radio. And I know some people say, what? Anthony Fantano said, I don't give a fuck what Anthony Fantano says. He's a terrible reviewer. But anyways, that's it for this video. Tell me what you think of the Green Day album listings down below. If you think like my tiers were like too high, like put these Uno and Dos and Bronze is like terrible. Like so you think that I'm not saying they're terrible records, or I don't think they're terrible albums. So you probably think that they're just. I think that they're meh, because Bronze is literally straight of the line, but in my tier list it's the bottom. Whatever you perceive. But anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you, and please subscribe. Bye bye.